Hey, I'm Davis Hammett with Loud Light. Here's what happened in the third week of the Kansas legislative session. 21 all-male Republican legislators introduced a state constitutional amendment that would grant civil rights at the moment of fertilization. The amendment would effectively make all abortions illegal in Kansas. It's written so broadly that it may make in vitro fertilization methods illegal, certain birth controls illegal, and could open the door for criminal investigations for miscarriages. The amendment is opposed by both pro-choice and anti-abortion groups. It takes 2/3 of the legislature to put a constitutional amendment on the ballot. Senate President Susan Wagel's special committee pushed through a massive tax breaks bill. Estimates are now rising and projected to cost close to $200 million in the first year alone. Over 70% of the tax breaks would go to corporations that make over $25 million a year, and the smaller percentage directed at individuals would predominantly reduce taxes on wealthy Kansans. These cost estimates may be on the low end since they assume no businesses would change behavior to better exploit the tax breaks. The SB 22 tax breaks are expected to be voted on this coming week on the Senate floor. Kansas brought in 49 million fewer tax dollars in January than estimated. Almost all of the unanticipated revenue declines came from income taxes. Republican legislators cited this as a reason not to increase funding for schools and healthcare. The governor cited it as a reason to maintain a high ending balance and not implement new tax breaks. Almost every senator who voted against overriding Brownback's tax experiment and delayed past Capers payments is now pushing to pass SB 9, a bill to pay $115 million into the pension system. The 10th District Court has ruled in Davis Hammett v. Johnson County Elections Commissioner Ronnie Metzger that the commissioner violated open records laws when he refused to disclose the names of the 898 Johnson County voters who had their 2018 primary ballots thrown out during the closest statewide election in Kansas history. The ACLU of Kansas represented Hammett, who, full disclosure, is me, in the lawsuit. Former Secretary Kobach was transmitting unencrypted personal information through crosscheck, and Kansas is now facing a class action suit for making people vulnerable to identity theft. A judge denied the Kansas Attorney General's attempt to dismiss the case, citing in part how Kansas continues to use the insecure crosscheck system, making more personal information vulnerable. 2 years ago, Medicaid expansion came just a few votes shy of overriding Governor Brownback's veto. Now, bills with nearly identical language are introduced in both chambers as establishing the KanCare Bridge to healthy Kansas. This week, the whole Senate will debate the tax breaks and Capers payment. The Senate Education Finance Committee will hear school funding. House Federal and State Affairs will hear changing Columbus Day to Indigenous Peoples Day. House Transportation will hear creating a negligent driving violation. And House Judiciary will hear removing the spousal exception from sexual battery. All of those hearings will take place on Wednesday. You can always find out who your state legislators are at openstates.org. Don't forget to call them when you care about an issue. Thank you for liking, sharing, and contributing. Stay tuned, stay engaged, and until next time, thank you so much, Kansas.